Welcome, everybody, to the third season of Pod and Deliver. And where has the time gone? With us today is Veronica Garcia. How are you doing, Veronica?
Hey.
I'm doing very well. I'm enjoying my Sunday. Nice. I have a lot to do, but it's been a good day.
Okay, then we'll zip by this one. All right, we'll go fast.
No, I didn't say it for that reason.
Some football games to watch.
I know. We know Veronica have it on the background, but I'm focused on you, Veronica. Not so much Jacob, but okay. We know Veronica through our brother Chris, through whom he's engaged to, by the way. Congratulations, Veronica.
Thank you. 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
Is it too much to ask as a teacher? I know at my school, sometimes they keep their last name previous, not to confuse the kids. Are you going to do that, or how, is that too personal, Veronica? I'm sorry.
No, I think I already told them that I will be changing my name soon, and they all clapped and were excited for me. Oh, so cool. That was very cute.
Nice.
But no, I think, legally I'll have to go through some paperwork, but yeah, they can start calling me Mrs. Aguilar when I come back from the wedding.
Wow, this is like a full Aguilar podcast, Ruben. One of the first.
Not quite, but
okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've had your brother on here.
Yeah, he's all right.
Okay. I thought we would discuss the 3 things you do right away in the first week or two of school. And I kind of thought it would be a freewheeling discussion between the 3 of us. But before we do that, Veronica, tell us the grade you teach.
So I teach 4th grade. I'm a Y2K teacher because that's when I started my profession in the teaching, my career in the teaching profession. And so, yeah, I've been teaching 4th grade ever since. I've done other grades in the summer, and I've been asked to move, but I've always stayed with 4th grade. And in the 4th grade, they're 9 and 10-year-olds.
What's the best thing about teaching that grade?
I would say the word is malleable, because I could influence them to act silly. Like if we're role playing, if we're doing readers theater, if we're singing or dancing, because since I'm self-contained, I'm doing all those subjects. But then they're also easily influenced to step it up, especially if I give them a challenge and if I say like, oh, you're gonna have to really dig deep. This is hard. Can you do it? And they're up for a challenge. So it's those 2 sides of they're ready to deliver and they're up for a challenge, but they can also just be the kids that they are and have a good time and not think that something's like not cool.
Can I just share something? I've taught middle school and high school, Veronica, and I used to tell people when they ask me how are the high school kids, I would say, I feel like in middle school, there's a lot more classroom management than there is education sometimes, or educating the kid. And as they get into high school, classroom management is usually a little less. Now in elementary, do you feel like it's 50-50, or do kids, maybe that, we're going to be talking about the first week, that's where you get them, where it's not so bad later on the year, where maybe classroom management is not really an issue?
Yes, especially if, like the question was, what are the 3 things that I do the first week of school, right? So right off the bat, the expectations and procedures. And I try to use, these past few years, I've taken away the word rules and instead replaced it with expectations. Like when you come in, I expect you to have a seat and look at the schedule and take out whatever's necessary for our first lesson of the day. Or I expect you to do this quietly. I expect you to whisper. And I feel like it's like a mindset, like instead of like, oh, don't do this, it's, I expect you to do this. So it's in a positive way. And, but yeah, I would say it's 50-50. Definitely, I have to continue to enforce the expectations all year long.
So it sounds like we started our what we do right away, and you say you've thrown out the rules, that word, and it's almost expectations. It feels a little bit more positive, what you're expecting of them. And so is it on a list, on a board? Is it digitally? How does that work?
Yes. So I have four rules, like basically, and I feel like those 4 rules encompass everything. So like the first one is listen and stay on task. Oh no, it's listen and follow directions. The next one is stay on task. And then the third one is respect the school, your classroom, and each other. And no, so it's 3. So I feel like those encompass everything.
Okay.
So whatever they're doing falls under those 3 categories.
Is it can they see it on the wall? I usually put them on the wall when I was teaching middle school.
Yes, and then this year, my district gave us a checkoff list of everything that they want to see in our classroom posted up. So they want our expectations very visible. So yes, they're in the front of the classroom.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, especially for that grade, that age group. All right, Jacob, what about you? What's one of the things you do?
Well, I have the same thing. Okay. I go through a syllabus though. I have a syllabus where it explains the class. So I spend a whole day that first week. We're in block schedule, so we only have like 3 days a week. So that first day I see them, we go over the syllabus, the expectations like Veronica shared. Not only that, but what's for the whole year, like, or the semester. These are the units that we're going to be hitting. But not only that, we talk about the grading scale, because they're always interested in that, right? How are you going to grade, right? And you know, what's an A, what's a B? So we go through that. And then of course I have a place where they would sign and their parents sign, and then I have them submit it through the platform, you know. And so, but I do spend time with those rules. I like that though, Veronica. I don't call them expectations, but I think I'm gonna change that because that does sound, you know, rules does have like a negative connotation sometimes, right? It's like, oh, this is what we got to do, and everybody uses that word. So, but it is an expectation. This is what we expect of you in this class, and then I share with them that, hey, I'm sure you expect me to be on my game, right? To be able to be here prepared. And I know when I'm not prepared, you know, the kids feel it. And so, yeah, so I like that word expectations. But yeah, that's one of the things I do too, Ruben, is I go through the expectations, but also the whole course content, so they understand what's expected of them for the year. How about you?
I'll talk about something similar, but before I do, I want to talk about the syllabus briefly in the sense that it is so dry, and I'm assuming yours is very long, and I just feel like, just like mine is very, very long, and I feel like it's a waste of time to go through the syllabus, except for the parts that are very useful and that they care about, which is how you grade, class rules, but I know that we are changing the verbiage, which I agree with, and then just how you weight, how you weight. It's part of grading, how you grade and how you weight the grades and things, and how I do want to mention that I do go over the syllabus very briefly because it's very long and boring. And one of the things is the rules, and so this year it's been a real big emphasis at our school to have those expectations, and they call it the social contract. So the way I did it is I did it through a questionnaire. What are the things that you want in this class environment? What should I expect from you? What should you expect from me? I put it on the board. These are the expectations for all of us, including the teacher. And I've added this idea of class culture, which I've never emphasized before, but I really wanted to do something to make them feel welcome, and that I create a hospitable environment. I'm really celebrating their birthdays this year. I put their birthdays on the wall. We've already had 3 or 4 birthdays. And what it allows me to do is it gives me a chance to write a personal message to them, what they mean to the class, them as individuals, because everyone's got their own unique style, what they add to the class. So it's been a great thing these first 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. Back to Veronica. What's another thing yes.
Your school probably has adopted what our school has. Is that the Capturing Kids' Heart program?
Yes, exactly.
What's that?
So like Ruben said, I also established a social contract. So basically the students have a discussion with each other. There's 3 questions. how would you like me to treat you? And then I tell them how I want them to treat me. And then we discuss how we want to treat each other. And we just do, it's very quick. You use keywords. You write all of these words on a poster board. You check off the words that were reinforced. That way they know, oh, these are like the top pledges we're making to each other. And then we all sign it, post it up on the front of the classroom. And I refer to it all the time. Like, do you think that's following our social contract? And it's another form of expectations as well.
Yeah. Very good. Great. Yeah, and we do the exact same thing. We have the students write their signatures on
I like that.
And they have committed to treat each other well and the teacher. So good one. And so what's another thing you do, Veronica?
This year, I did something called growth mindset. So I read a lot of picture books to my students about the power of yet. And then we have a discussion like, what does that mean? Like, oh, I don't know my multiplication tables yet. I'm not at the reading level that I want to be yet. So it's about them owning their goals. And then they chose a goal and they wrote it on a sheet of paper, and then they decorated it. I mixed in art with this growth mindset lesson that we did. And then I took a picture of them in a thinking pose. And it's a nice display in the classroom, but it reminds them of something that they'd like to work on this year. And then we talked about strategies, like how do you put that into place? Ask for help, use the resources I give you. So it's teaching them how to be proactive in their own learning and how to be confident and not to give up, because that's a good life lesson for sure.
I really like that word yet. You know, there's that expectation that I'm going to move, I'm going to grow, show progress. Okay, Jacob.
Yeah, this is all good stuff. I'm teaching psychology. Most of my classes are psychology this year, intro to psych. And I do a thing where I have them do this activity where they have them draw their family. And I explain to them that I have my son, who when he was 4 or 5, did the same assignment. Then I have them on the backside share about, they actually do it with drawings, things that they're interested in, like if it's baseball or if it's skating or whatever it is. So I get to know them a little bit. And then I ask them for permission the next time I see them at the end of the week. Can I share your picture? And if not, I go, no, it's fine. And basically we go over it and analyze it. I don't go too deep because some of them are real deep and I don't want to get too into it. But then I say, oh, this looks like you're closer to your sister. Is that correct? Oh yeah. How did you know that? Well, you're standing right next to your sister in the photograph, right? Oh, you have a dog next to you. Oh, that must be your dog because it's not next to your brother. No, yeah, that is my dog. So I say, oh, and then, we just talk about how this is a good tool to get to, if you're going to work with young children, especially since a lot of these students want to be psychologists in the future. I just share with them that it's a tool that we use as a psychologist to get information. But I don't, like I said, sometimes there's some really serious things that come out. So then you go, okay, sometimes you have to deal with it, privately, of course, but 90% of it, 95% of it it's a positive, and you're able to share those things and they enjoy, they get a kick out of it. Like, wow, like I'm doing something supernatural, but I'm not, but it's a lot of fun. And then I share that with them that, that's what we want to have a lot of fun here. We're going to learn differently and so forth. But that's one little tool I use during the first week.
That's a great idea. And it adds to creating culture.
Mm-hmm.
I used to resist activities like that in the past, but now I realize that it's very important because you don't know where some of these students are coming from, and they want to feel welcome, and there's different ways of doing that. So for me, I'm going to give you a very boring one, but it's the one thing I've been doing from the very beginning as a teacher, and I still do, and that's the seating chart. It's not just because you want to separate the talkers, but I think the first day me doing it, when it kind of communicates, hey, don't forget, we're a community, but there is somebody in charge, and move here, get up, move here, you're getting over here. And it kind of lets them know, oh, okay, He's moving me. That's disruptive, but it's positive, and I like the seating chart. Okay, one more. I think we've done 2 each.
Very good.
And we have one more. I'm pretty good at math. I took 4th grade math. Veronica, what's another thing that you do?
Well, I think I said the social contract. Well, you brought it up, but then I explained how we do it too. The growth mindset and then the rules and expectations. But also just creating a safe environment, especially if I see something going on, like I really try to, address it right away. Like if I see that somebody is not, participating at recess, doesn't have a group of friends, or a new student who comes from another district. And so just connecting the students with each other, giving them ideas of what they can play, making sure that they all have someone that they can call a friend, especially because it just puts everyone at ease, and it provides a safe environment. I always tell the students, I use those words, a safe environment. You shouldn't have to come to school and feel stressed or afraid.
I like the fact that your vocabulary too, Veronica. I feel like the way you're talking to us is how you're talking with your kids. Even when you use the word malleable, I mean, I feel like that's what's happening. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. And you don't speak down to them. It sounds like you speak to them where they're at, and I think that's important. And it sounds like that environment is it's so important, especially in all grades, but 4th grade for sure. Thanks for sharing that, Ruben. I do want to share. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No,
but really quick, I want to give kudos to both of you, because as a parent of 2 high schoolers, I just went to my own kids back to school night, and I really appreciated those teachers that I do see just have a more welcoming and inviting environment in their classroom, in the way that they're decorating. I'm not saying that you have to go all out as high school teachers, but definitely it should have something that attracts the kids to the classroom. Posters, positive quotes. And then those teachers like that, they don't forget that there's other aspects to education. It's not just what you're teaching them, but making the students feel welcome, making them feel they belong, and encouraging them to know each other just like you're taking the time to know them. So that's what I want as a parent for my own kids. So I think that's good that you 2 are both doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, this year, it's funny, the district is saying, hey, we're going to give you some money specifically to deal with social emotional on your walls. Like find some quotes, or like they're encouraging it, financially. We're like, well, I'm like, wow, I'm ready. I would spend my own money, and us as teachers, as you know, we all spend money, but that's nice to get that back and saying, especially in this area, for the kids to feel like, hey, this is a safe place. This is a place where, I could come in and I could learn by looking at the wall, and so, no, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Well, even like my own kids sometimes think what I say is cheese ball, but if they see their teachers also saying it, they'll be like, okay, well, mom says that too, but my teacher says it too. So
yeah. Going with Ruben regarding the seating chart, I had that as my 3rd one as well, and I explained it with the kids. For me, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've shared this with Ruben before. I really have bad memory, and I know he has his ideas why, but I definitely am struggling, but I need to practice. And so I need that chart for me to remember the kids' names, and I'm starting memorizing them. And of course it helps me to do role. So, and then I tell the kids also, guess what, guys, you get to meet a new person. And I do boy, girl, a lot of it for classroom management, and because they're real nervous if they're next to a girl, these guys, right? And then of course, as the semester goes on, they get to know them, and then they start talking. And then by the end of the semester, I'm switching them with another kid. But I do that it is for classroom management. I don't have too much of a problem with classroom management, but boy, that seeing chart sure helps me. And then it also helps to substitute. If I'm out for a day, I remember last year we had some illnesses in our family and some deaths. And so that was great to be able to leave that seating chart for the sub, so they could look at it and say, oh, this is where you're supposed to sit, and take roll that way. And but it just helps me so much. And I feel like that was one of the big things I've done for classroom management, and to be able to have a class where it's, manageable, so that's my 2 cents, Rube.
Okay, and the last one I want to point out, besides classroom culture thing, social contract, seating chart, also a snapshot of the student's ability, pretty much right away. It could be a journal. I give a journal, and I just want to see their ability to put sentences together. I also want to get a sense of their personality, but right away I found out there's a student in my class who's very, very low. I mean, he has an IEP, but even for students with an IEP at his level as a 10th grader, he's extremely low. And now, having had that information, it's useful to me in how I approach that student and what I ask of him, and what the due date might be. I might give him a little bit more time and direct staff in a certain way and how to approach him. So a snapshot of their ability on the first day even is useful. And it could even be a reading inventory, how well they read, but just something. So
those fun, are Ruben, yeah. the whole week. I mean, for all 3 of us, we don't even plan on like work. When I mean, we're, it's all about getting that room environment. It's all about getting that classroom management, because I think we think it's, we've been doing it for years, but new teachers, I've been working with new teachers and they struggle with that, having that first week. And so figuring out how this is going to be managed. But once you get that first week done, the kids have the expectations. They know exactly how this is going to go Monday through Friday. And I think that's why it's important we even have this episode, Rube.
Very good. I did want to ask Veronica, who in your career inspired you in some way as you look up to them, even as a mentor? Can you think of anybody? Might even be a second person.
Well, definitely a man by the name of Al Crespo. He was the principal at the school the school that I started off with. I work for a very small district. It has 2 schools. So the school that hired me, he was the principal there. And he was just very positive towards me and always very encouraging and Latino. So I definitely felt that like push of like, hey, you're a Latina woman and you've got this. And he always believed in me. And even now he's already retired, but we're still Facebook friends. And I appreciate the shot that he gave me, because the district has been my home for the past 20 plus years and I love what I do. Also, I would say the teachers that still work there, but that when I started, I became part of their team. And even after so many years, they haven't burnt out. They're still innovative, and they encourage me to step up, to continue to step up my game and to really be invested in our profession. So those are my mentors, the teachers that I still see going at it strong.
That's good. Veronica, I'm curious. You shared that you've done 4th grade most of your career. What would get you to do another grade, and what grade would that be?
I would want to teach high school.
Okay, wow. Because
but
of
my district, my district doesn't have a high school. And I mean, after being at my school for 20 plus years, I've developed friendships there. I mean, some of our coworkers become our very close confidants, our friends. And it's hard to leave that, because our coworkers, at least at my school, they become our second family. We're with them for a lot of hours too. So I wouldn't want to leave that.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It reminds me of a friend that Jake and I have. His name is Craig Wright. He taught 5th grade for many years, over 20 years, and then he switched to high school. It was very strange, high school algebra, and he just lit up. He had so much fun. Like the last 5 years of his teaching career, then he retired. But he just wanted a change. He just wanted that experience. So it makes you wonder. Maybe that's what you'll do, Veronica, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I know I would want to teach writing and literature.
Oh, nice.
It's the best. There's nothing like it. Teaching literature is the best. So I'm biased, but Very good, Veronica Garcia.
Garcia.
Thank you for joining us in our season, our third season, first episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope you have a great season of podcasts.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.